Okay.
Good. You see everything then, great.
You're
All
our
right.
test, you're our test here.
Okay, so we are recording and you want to, what do we do? We
I'm gonna
do
make a
business.
comments
Right.
and then.
Right.
I will have to leave at 9:45 because I have a physical therapy appointment at that point.
Quarter to 11.
Quarter to 11,
Okay. All right,
Okay.
That's good, we'll take what we.
all right, we're screen sharing, so they're not gonna see you anyway, so it doesn't matter if I move.
All right,
Now you're
let's
done, like.
do the, Don's favorite part. We want to consider accepting the minutes as they appeared in the newsletter. Do I have a motion?
I'll do it. I had to read them to put them in the newsletter, so.
Do we have a second?
There we
Okay.
go.
Who's that, Ken?
Yep.
I don't have eyes.
He's not a teacher or a mom.
All in favor? All right, thank you. All right, well, that, Mickey's exhausted. He was climbing on the table to plug into this.
Ready to go and take a nap.
Yeah, really, this is a new projector for the school, but they never did the wiring.
Oh,
I'm rolling my eyes.
The wiring.
They never wired it to work. So Dina kind of knew he was doing it, I think, with somebody coming in the door.
Oh.
Don't. Hey, come on in.
Door in my face.
Hey.
yeah.
Every time.
Hey.
Slam the door in.
So Mickey climbed up on a table. Got a screwdriver to make the adjustment, and Dina, who's the connection with the college, is out there like, I don't know. But she knows Mickey from our months here.
John Ambrose.
John Ambrose.
That's Dina Carrara.
Pardon?
Is that Dina Carrara?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. But she doesn't do wiring.
No, they have to,
Please somebody come.
they have to get the unions involved for that.
But they get a new piece of equipment, they don't know who to call.
Oh, they called.
They call.
Yes.
No, they didn't call me.
They know
This is the workaround. Yes, they are. It's the unions.
I mean, I get the mails and I signed up 7 years ago, but I haven't been here for a long time.
Fine.
Well, you're allowed to be here.
No, I don't want to pay my dues.
Oh, re-sign up.
Thank you. All right,
Mickey
so,
will take it
yeah,
at it.
we'll do that after. Okay, so should we get started? or-
Okay, let me make what's the announcement?
Oh,
I think next month, we're gonna do something on security, avoiding scams,
good.
and how to be careful out there. Out there.
This is the Hill Street
To go
News.
back to that old TV show. And I know I just got on my phone this week, a little thing that kept popping up that said, oh, click here to secure your phone, and I said, whoa. But
To the delete button.
we wanna, well, it wouldn't go away.
Oh,
And so we wanna make sure everybody's got it in their mind, but then you feel dumb because you come along and they say, oh, that's all right, you're allowed to click that, and you say, how was I supposed to know? You know, we're told, don't click everything. So we're gonna talk about some of those issues and how to secure your phone, and so on.
Okay.
We're smoothing out the details. Like right now.
I don't answer anything.
Anything. Well, yeah, as far as phone calls, you know, you don't,
Yeah,
is that, you know, whatever, everybody our age always thinks, is that a doctor's office? You know.
I know.
Can I ignore it?
Yeah, well, I did that this morning on the way here and was a troopers looking for money.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know it, don't answer it.
Yeah, and they'll leave with voicemail, we hope, and I'll remember how to get my voicemail, because nobody else leaves me voicemail. The family knows.
We can practice that.
We'll call each other. So that will be,
Speaking.
Um,
You don't know.
what's next month, June?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
How could that be? The year just started.
With the new AI voice
Yeah, where it knows your voice.
Your phone sometime and start.
It's
talking.
recording your voice.
Right, and pretty soon you're gonna get a call.
You'll get a
from
call,
yourself.
or somebody in your address book will get a call and assume it's really from
That
you.
would scare me.
I mean, the scams out there are crazy. Gonna be more crazy.
Okay.
So that'll be next. Okay, today we're gonna talk about smartphones. And we'll jump in and start showing you some things, and then we want questions, because everybody's got, how do you, why does it? And everybody has a different phone. So I think to start with, well, let's go around the room and say what kind of phone you have.
Android.
Android?
How much is that?
And
And
Android.
My wife has a Pixel.
a Pixel, Google Pixel,
Google Android.
And I have an Android.
Android.
You gotta be, yeah.
Android. Right?
It does a few things. Yeah, its own way.
Well, they all do, but
They all do, because if you've got a Samsung, it has its own environment.
I couldn't find your.
Yeah, because I have the Samsung,
That's
and Mickey
me.
has an Android, but
Motorola.
not a Motorola, not a Samsung.
Well, we both got Samsung.
So Samsung is, one way, and if it's not a Samsung, it might do a little different.
So there are two types of Androids. basically?
No, there's
There's probably more
there's as many as there are developer or manufacturers.
manufacturers, yeah, like what's another one besides Motorola would it be?
There's Motorola, there's Nokia, there's TCL, there's
Couple that are
one Note.
predominantly China.
Oh, they're mostly all. Yeah.
That's true. That's why it's bad to have all our major technology we count on made in another country, right?
Yeah,
Stupid.
especially since they don't like us anymore.
Anymore.
Well, at least they're gonna start making chips in Ohio, right? If they get the
Couple
plant
years.
built. It takes a while to build those plants and train the people. Okay, all right. So we're going to show, and I guess I'm gonna start.
Okay.
So my phone is over there with a pink background. And it just went dark. Oh, there it is.
You gotta sign in after.
And you see where that little squiggly thing on the bottom, I have, oh, you don't see it.
Yeah, it does. It's there. Oh, which little?
My fingerprint,
Oh, no, that's outside.
because
the
on
phone.
my, I have a
That's
little,
outside the phone.
I have that, and if I put my finger on it, it logs in. I don't have to type a number in.
Yeah, I did
or-
that too, but it kept not wanting to see my finger after about
You know-
4 tries, it stopped.
Yeah, and then I have it with dots.
Yeah,
And I
that's
can
the
trace
one I
a
went
shape.
to.
I can go back to that at any time,
Right.
because I found my back door has a fingerprint on the lock. And if it's real cold,
I'll take it. Right,
it distorts it enough that,
Mine don't work unless I'm moistening my finger. And then it reads it perfect. Every
well,
time.
now you tell
I'm standing at the door going,
Yeah.
but I have a number I can put in as well, so I've always got a backup.
Your fingers don't have to be warm.
Exactly. Exactly.
What's improvement?
So anyway, it has been kind of fun to try the fingerprint once I discovered I could do it on this phone. Not every model allows a fingerprint.
mine can do eyes too. Yeah, your eye.
Well, face
Or face recognition.
face recognition.
Yeah.
I know a lot of my grandson said, well, I just look at mine and it knows, knows to lock me in. And I said, excuse me. And there was a fellow, I like to watch Tech for Seniors, and the one fellow was getting his elaborate setup for music and everything. And he wanted it all to work with facial recognition. So he had to go out and buy a new piece of equipment to make it everything work with facial recognition. And I said, okay, I guess that's important to you. But let's go back to the phone. So I can make sure you guys are seeing what I'm saying. So you see, I have these little
Yeah, the dot.
dots.
Where were you?
Yeah, those dots.
Those are your desktops.
Yeah, so that's, each one represents a desktop, so as I slide to the right. Each one is there, so I know I have four desktops.
Right.
And if you add a new app, it usually, when you're full like this, it goes to the last desktop and you can move it forward, and I can show how to do that. Yeah, he wants to know how to move things around, I think.
Yeah, he wants to know how to move his.
Well, like I have this, the one that we're using right now is Visor. You see where Visor is here? On
Yeah,
the screen, yes. And it's on the fourth screen, and let's say I wanted to move that to the first screen. You can click on it and just slide it over. See how I'm holding it to
A lot
the
of times you
edge?
need to long press and wait for the menu to come up. Your
Yes.
menu came up pretty quickly.
And it doesn't always do that.
No,
So you long press on it and move it over. And then you can drop it on that screen. Now you can see my little Visor app with the eye or whatever it is now on this screen. And if I wanted to move this group down that says genealogy up, and then I can hold Visor, press on it, hold it, and slide it down. So you can easily move things around once you get going.
All those apps are running.
that's her, that's not her, that's not
All those
you.
apps are running all the time.
no, they're not.
They're just
What's
representative.
running is what's in here. This is what she's got running.
Okay, can you pause them all for battery conservation or?
You can see how it says close all? You can just do that. We bring up this little menu thing here is recent tasks. On mine, it's a square. Okay, so
Yeah,
whichever
just go to
icon you
close
have.
all. I mean, they're,
Right, that we wouldn't want to do that now because of the closed visor, you wouldn't be able to see it.
yeah, like on mine over here, I have the 3 lines on the far left bottom, and that shows everything that's open.
Oh,
And I can go up, close it, and so on. Or yeah, and it says close all. See where it says close all under the white box. And that will close everything that's open for the moment.
Well, you don't do that.
But it,
no,
you know,
not in this case.
they just open right back up, so I mean,
Well,
it's-
if they're open, or if they're run, they'll open up. Like if you open up your Gmail or whatever and you close it, it's not gonna open up automatically, even if you get it in a mail. It's going.
yeah, you gotta go over and initiate it
Right.
again.
Right, once you start Gmail or whatever, it will.
It goes quickly.
Right,
The one other thing I'd say about moving these things around, let's say Visor is really a program about genealogy, which it
well,
isn't.
throw it in Google, it's a Google product, so you can throw it in Google.
Okay, all right. Oh, it is a Google
Well,
product?
Used to be, I don't think it is.
Well, let's
anymore.
pretend it is.
Okay,
I thought genealogy because it's skinny.
okay, go ahead.
All right,
Go ahead.
I'm going to press on Visor and drag it up here to see where that genealogy is on the second
Before you
row,
do that. Okay,
and then let go.
right. It automatically opened up in hers now.
Mine, it opens up
Right, if
automatically.
you notice, some of hers were wiggling around, the icons were wiggling around, like we move this guy here. Oh, they didn't wiggle, okay, so usually if you, there it is, see, you can move it and
Yeah.
put it in place as something, if you drag it onto some place that already has something, it will shift out of the way and let you drag it there. Otherwise, if you hover over it like she did and open up the folder that's on there, you can put it inside the folder.
And how do you get them?
Okay, then like this.
Folders.
You
They,
just drag one program,
let
one
me
app,
show you that.
okay.
Let me find two to do
one app on
that.
top of another,
Yeah.
Okay,
it automatically creates.
I've got little, you can see I have little groups.
right,
Let's think of it as a file folder. I've got a lot of those. I'm trying to find some that we don't have
wow.
in a group.
Well, you can drag something out of the group and put it back in if you want.
Yeah, but I was gonna say to start it entirely.
Oh, okay. Well, there's Keep and Samsung. Notes.
Okay, this, I see a simple note here, which is actually a note program.
Right.
And then there's keep notes, and they kind of do the
And
same
Samsung
thing,
Notes.
and that's by Google. And so I can hold my, touch one of them, hold it down, and then drag, whoops, drag it up on top of S for simple note and let it go, and see how it made a little box
Okay.
around it?
Mhm.
And then up here, I give it a name, folder name. I can type on that and say memos or something. Done. And then back up with my back arrow. And there it is. Now I have a folder called memo that has 2 apps in it. And that's, you see, I've done that a lot, because I've got practically all folders, because I'm good at throwing them on top of each other. Like for stores, I have Best Buy, Target, Michael's, Gallery. I don't know why that's in there. Joanne, Sam's Club, and so on. And then there's actually 2 screens of it, because I have the 2 dots under
Mhm. Down here.
down there, so I know I've got 2 screens of them. And then and go between them, and then back arrow to go back. So
The back arrow is this left button.
yes, show where that back arrow
So it
is,
says back.
or the one under the C or the phone.
Yeah, this one here is on
Yeah.
your screen.
Yeah, so
Either one.
that you want to be familiar with your back arrow, because it gets you out of things.
Your
Yes.
back arrow and your home button, which is usually the center button.
The center button, yeah, if you're in a different place, sometimes things aren't going, go to the home, which is the square in the middle.
Or the circle in the middle, in my case.
Oh, in your case,
Yeah, we got a little square.
and mine's a square. I was gonna show that on mine, if I swipe in from the left, I can't make it do it. I
Oh, the
can get
Google
the
thing?
side things.
Oh.
You can see why I don't use them, but you can get a
That-
panel on the
like to
side,
shut that
yeah,
off.
I don't, yeah, there probably is a way. But I don't,
You get this.
some side panel options.
No, you get the side
Yeah.
options.
And I don't use that.
Well, I don't either.
Here, I'll show you on mine. If I swipe in from the left, oh, that was too. That was on
That's the
the,
way you want it.
yeah, that was on the, apparently it took it as an up and down. No, it doesn't. There it is. Now I get I swiped in from left to right, on the extreme left side of the screen to the right, and I get this Google stuff
I'm
here,
not
which is a
making-
Google Smart thing.
It only comes up when I don't want it, so.
Yeah. So anyway, that's, it's, I think it's called the Google side panel. I'm not sure what it's called.
But yeah, some people might really enjoy that and find it useful
I
and
don't
want to
like
set it up, but.
I
It
very,
interferes when I'm trying to do
Yeah.
something and you accidentally hit it and
Yeah.
it's in there and you're like, come on. And
yeah,
it opens up something you didn't want.
right. So I don't usually use it either. So it, as you say, to me, it's more intrusive.
Yeah,
But, and then the ones on the bottom where I've got the little blue house. The
text.
text, that's a text message one, which I use. I don't use the default one on the phone, I use a different one. But they all work the same.
Yeah.
And then the squiggly line and then the phone, but you can change those. You can drag something here and drag it down there and it'll bump off.
And those are the ones that will show up on all the desktops.
Yeah, every
they're
time you move
the
over, you
ones,
see those 4 on the bottom stay
You
the
put your
same.
most important stuff down there.
But if you never text anybody or something, you could drag something else down there and
Only if the
take that
screen's not
space.
locked. Mine is locked and it wouldn't let me move my.
Well, right, if you have a lock screen, you can't do anything.
But I don't, there it says lock screen.
Right,
Okay, so you see how that can be an option.
and on my, yeah, I have 4. I have 5 on mine.
I got the phone,
Yeah,
and I got the house.
you don't need the house.
Squirrely.
Well, the house is
That's,
Is that your home?
on
Oh,
mine.
yours is Nest, okay.
I'll show you what mine is. On mine, when I press the little home, it's a symbol for this, which is my Nest thermostat. So my home thermostat is set at 70 degrees right now, and that probably could have it lower to be economical. So I press on that hit the down arrow, now it's 68. And then I just back up away from 68, so when I get home,
We're not seeing that.
oh,
Okay, there we go.
there we go.
It took a while to sync.
It, okay, because it's coming across by internet
By the
from.
cable. No, it's not. It's coming across from the cable.
Oh. Oh, that's,
That's,
but why, all right.
I don't know. it was
Who knows?
Maybe the way you're holding the cable or something. I don't know.
There's another one along those lines over here. Like, let me think. Is it gonna show? Oh, over here, I have backyard. Let me see how this. That's a camera sitting in my kitchen window. Does it show? Yeah, there it is.
Turn the audio on.
Turn the sound off.
There you go.
But this is sitting in my kitchen window looking outside at my backyard. Why? I don't know.
I have.
Reason I got a picture of my papers.
I still cannot.
But my, we'll look at it in a minute.
Yeah.
There's this, my dog passed away before Christmas, and I would look out to see where he is or something. When he's out, it's a
he was
fence,
alive.
when he was,
Oh, no, she's watching him.
In the
house.
She didn't make the
he's in
transition.
heaven now.
Zombie dog.
But it's a fenced in backyard, but still. But the only trouble is, since it's sitting in the kitchen, in front of the window, at night, all it gets is reflection of the glass, and I can't see a thing.
Do you have IR turned on? Infrared?
I don't know, maybe I had
Turn,
something I could
turn
look
that
for.
off and that reflection should go away.
All right. Now, the other one I have is, I'll show you one more along those lines. I have a grouping called home automation. And I have a Ring doorbell. That's my mail lady. So I know it, I can see, oh, look at the batteries
Why?
low. But I could move it side to side. Whoops, no, I can't. Move it there. And then I can look back on live events. But I don't have a lot of action in my street, I guess. And look at, that's me backing out. That's the most exciting thing that happens. The only other exciting is I dragging the garbage cans front and back. I get to watch me do that, or reaching out to get the mail or the newspaper. I thought, oh God, don't
That's
look.
good. You don't want anything any more exciting than that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Okay, you know, if you ring the doorbell,
That's the whole world, and we can all go back to being bored.
Yeah.
if someone rings the doorbell, I can actually talk through the door and everything. Through the door, through the bell. And but hardly anybody ever rings my doorbell. I mean,
Yeah, they don't want to be shot.
what?
Yeah, you got
Once
that
or
right.
twice a year, I think. Selling Girl Scout cookies, maybe. So that makes it kind of, I think this smart home actually is trying to be a place to gather your smart things at home, because these are lights I have plugged in. What are they called, Mickey? Little plugs, smart plugs.
Oh, okay, yes.
Smart plugs. And actually they go through Alexa. So I can sit in the room and say, Alexa, turn on bed. And it turns on the bedroom light. Or I can come to this app and say, the shade light is off. Click on it now. The shade light in my house, you have to take my word for it, is on. And then I'm turning it off. So it's kind of fun to use apps like this with your.
You gave up on the Peanuts characters?
Oh, yes. For a while I had the different lights in my living room named after the Peanut characters, like Linus and Snoopy, but then I never could remember.
Yeah, I
which
was gonna
was
say,
which.
I could remember that. Better person than I was.
So I have the one named Shade, has a real unusual shade on it. The one in the corner is named Corner. And so on. So I'm trying to outsmart myself. But you get the idea on that kind of
Okay,
thing.
I found it.
Um,
Unlocked it. Sweetie.
You got, like I have several musics, which I should really thin out because I don't use all these little music players. But you can also play podcasts if you're into podcasts through a lot of the stuff. And let's see. So you've always got music at your fingertips. In media, I have for things like links to apps that do movies and TV shows and so on, which I never use on my phone because it's so small.
I could see you doing that if you had a Chromecast and you cast it from your phone
Yeah.
to there.
Cast it from it because you can pull it up on this screen and then push the button and cast it up to your TV. But then I might as well go to the app on my TV.
Some people don't have that, plus
We don't have
some
that.
people have unlimited internet on their phone, or if they have T-Mobile, they've got unlimited streaming of TV services.
That would be a
Maybe
reason
that
to use
Right.
it instead of at home, but at home I have unlimited, but I was testing this last night for myself and I thought, oh, it's kind of fun to see. To watch something on my phone, I guess. I can make it do it. How do I watch this? Don't want to get into all that. But if you're ever into it, like my brother thought it was cool, he was waiting for his wife to come out of a doctor's office or something. And he pulled up a movie or a TV show on his phone to watch while he was waiting. Whereas I probably would have opened a book to read or something, but that's what's nice. Do you have, while I'm looking for something else, do you have questions that we could go to?
I figured out how to unlock.
Oh, so anybody needs to check on that, Pam will be our expert today.
It's insane. I missed it the first time.
Now I have a Facebook button here. I also have a group of, I think I call social media or something.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, thank you. That's the trouble with all these. But if you press Facebook, I mean, I read Facebook on my phone a lot. If filling in time for a couple minutes, I come in and go. Oh, there she's talking about a book. What book is that? You know, that's the ones I go to. Projects, women reading great books, and then you click on 117 comments. You're busy. So there's always plenty here. And then I can see, I like Facebook, I can see family issues, cooking, dogs for adoption. I mean, it just keeps me busy. But the Amherst, I don't know. No, not quite yet. Maybe before summer's over. And then the community ones, like this is Amherst community, and then there's one for Elyria, there's one for every city. And the trouble with those is they bitching, like it's a bitching. So everybody comes to complain. Why don't they do something about and so on.
I have trouble sending photos. Either emails or phone numbers as opposed to sending, I don't have any trouble sending them to emails as opposed to sending it to another phone.
So you want us
I want to send a photo from this phone.
to another
To
phone?
another phone.
Well, you could.
Yeah,
email
what
it
app are you
to-
trying to use? To send it to another.
You don't care, you just want to get
I
it
don't
over
care.
there. Well,
You
one
can send it through text if it's just one single image. You can send it through email.
is it is it somebody else's phone? Or do you have two phones or anything?
No.
It's somebody else's phone.
Yeah, my sister, let's say phone.
Okay.
Something, send a
Well, I
picture.
usually would send a picture by
Everybody does
text. Yeah, I send it by
I don't-
text or by
Yeah,
email.
I mean, you can.
We can do that. We can pull up a picture here. Galleria. I'll tell you one thing you'll notice here. I do a lot of screenshots while I'm reading Facebook. I want to save the name of that book
Mhm.
or the suggestion being made in the
Understand that.
discussion, and I have it set up where I swipe my hand over it,
Hmm.
click, it's in my gallery. Then it gets full of these,
So where do you get the screenshot at?
And you go.
that goes straight to your gallery where your pictures go.
I know, but how do you get it to go to your gallery?
Oh, how do you
Just say-
create it, and how do you create it?
Yeah.
I have mine set up to swipe, but you have to go in, I think, and do settings and say hand gestures or
Oh.
gestures.
Right.
Otherwise, it's like 2 buttons usually,
Yeah. usually
You're,
volume down
up and down and home or something.
Power and volume down.
But I never liked doing that because I wasn't pushing them at the right time.
Right, on mine, as you can see, it has down the bottom, if I bring up the all apps button, which is to me is a square,
Uh-huh.
it also has a screenshot button here, so.
Oh, you have a button right on this.
Yeah, so if I.
Did you have to set that up, do you remember?
No, this is part of the Motorola.
Because he has a Motorola Android.
Yeah, it's just- it's not the screen.
Okay.
I'm constantly taking screenshots without my knowledge or.
Oh, it's too easy to do that.
What the heck is going on?
Go back through them, or ideally, and make a note of the books, you know, like, oh, I want to look at that title. Do I have that in my ebook collection? Yada, 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 and then
Does
delete it.
screenshots back up automatically and the photos back up automatically to cloud or?
Set them up to do so.
You can set it up to like go to your Google
That's
Photos or
reset it.
something, but it's otherwise it's in gallery, which comes with your phone.
Right,
That's the place they default to no matter what. Like I'll back up here to the home screen and see the galleria.
So the phones come with different amounts of memory, like one.
Yeah.
True.
258. Should you get the largest amount of memory?
well, that's not memory, that's storage space,
Yes, okay,
because the memory is usually around the 2, 3, 4 gigabyte range,
okay.
but
I
yes.
did get a lot.
But
in
but
mine.
also you can add storage to your phone, if usually with the micro SD card.
But not
For
all-
things like,
Not,
not all, most of them nowadays, for things like pictures, you can set up your camera to go to the in the settings, you can tell it to go to store your save preferences right here. And in my case, over here, I'm gonna go to save preferences and it says storage, store all my photos on the SD card.
Okay, so you got a mini SD.
I have,
card.
yes,
You
yes.
got a lot of stuff that won't go on the SD card.
But pictures and stuff will, apps are very,
apps won't, yeah.
well,
I know that,
some will,
but I
some
mean,
will,
usually-
most of them will not.
Right.
But if you're worried about pictures and movies and music, those will all go on the SD card.
I don't think my,
Screenshot that?
You can set up, yeah, well,
Because I know for Pixel, all the. photos
here's
are
capture
backed up.
settings.
because it's in the Google environment
Here.
community. or
oh,
whatever.
okay, that's for the phone, but I mean.
It goes
for
to the
cap-
Google Photos.
Yeah.
And I have mine set up to also go there.
But then they said like the other like screenshots and that weren't backed up then.
Oh, I didn't see.
Depends on where you have your screenshots set up to
Like in
go.
the libraries.
See, mine go into photos, which is Google's photo. app,
Right.
And they're automatically
So they're
backed up to the
backed
cloud,
up.
exactly. Whereas if I throw them in the gallery, it doesn't, but that's something you set up in Google Photos.
I don't even know how to get into my SD.
Okay, so that's in photos on the left. Now, if there are libraries, the one that was on the right on the bottom.
You're talking about on her.
Yeah, go back on yours. You
Oh.
said, I just saw it.
Oh, well, that was part of photos though. You
Yeah,
did-
the photos.
Yeah, This is still Google.
That's
This is,
still,
Google
Google
Photos.
libraries, it's still backed up.
library is just Google Photos name for a particular folder setup.
Files.
Right,
Okay.
right. But it's still, as you see up top, it's still Google Photos.
Okay.
So as long as it's in Google Photos, it's being backed up.
We've used videos by Geeks on Tour. You remember? The older couple that,
Mhm.
and her specialty is Google Photos and the like. She's written a book on it, and I sat in on one of her, I remember to sit on her Zoom, not the genealogy one. Anyway, but she was answering questions on Google Photos and she really knows it, but she has a lot of videos she's created on
Geeks on tour.
these
Yeah.
issues. Geeks on
Chris
Tour.
and Jim, I think, Gould.
Yeah.
GULD.
Red dot.
Little dot.
The dot is a notification. If you see my little dots here, I've got a dot here under my Google
Oh.
Voice, and do I have any other dot? There's one up here under Outlook. That means
Can you look at, open one of them, the,
Well,
It
if
just
you go up
means-
here, if you swipe down from the top, you'll see your notifications and you'll see I have a message or a notification from Google Voice, actually 3 of them. 3 different, well, one's an
Why
advertisement.
won't your Zoom open? No,
Why won't my Zoom open?
I was saying somebody saw our problem.
Oh, okay.
No,
And a notification from the calendar, and here's this little, from the phone. Apparently I got a phone call that I didn't take.
so it's the same as getting a notification at the top, but it's.
Yes, you can set in settings,
It identifies which program.
right. So typically in your app, they're the same way. If you have an app and it's got a dot in it, like if I open up my Google Voice, you'll see, okay, well, my messages has a dot and it says 1. That means the other ones don't have any new stuff, but my messages does, and it's this MailChimp thing that I use to send out the,
And as soon as you look at it, then it.
right.
you-
If I
it's not
click
there.
on it, now it go, okay, and I go back, now it's gone. See, everything's up to date. So it's no longer there. And I no longer have, I keep wanting to do that because it takes a little while for it to, it still shows that I have a dot there, but it's not real. So what I could do is I just go down here and I can do a clear all, and now all my dots will go away.
Do you have notifications at the top? you
Yeah,
can
well, I
show?
did. That's why I was showing them when you said go to the,
Cause I always have,
yeah, see,
oops,
now I don't see any notification. Oh, there you are. But you don't have any.
I don't have any, it's hard to believe.
We just.
Cause usually you'll have little symbols on the top left.
Let's see here. I can send some-
Can- And those are notifications, and a lot of times they're. Unless you keep on top of them, they could be unimportant, annoying.
Not my text.
I can show you, oh, wait, there, now I have notifications, Mickey.
Oh, okay.
See at the top, I've got the time and then a couple symbols. So if I tap down, these are my notifications, like there's
Not
LCCU,
tap down, swipe down.
swipe down. LCCUG meeting at 10 o'clock, so we
That's
got
on our
that.
Calendar.
I know, there's someone trying to get no idea what it is.
That's
This is coming from my
calendar.
calendar. This one is, meeting is coming from
That's also.
another. Oops,
Yeah.
and then I had the weather. And then I have secure folder locked. What's that? And then Wi-Fi network available, notice. And USB for file transfer. I don't know what that is.
That's because we're doing USB.
Oh, because of all
Right,
this.
you can click on that to change it to, I don't want to transfer, I just want to charge.
And then the
You
top
do that in
one,
Airport or
A
something.
bunch of recap of the game.
top, this one is guess the book I was reading. The Man Who Can't Be Moved, not intentionally. But if you go to settings, right, let me do that. I swipe down and see the little symbol on my phone. Yours is a little different to get to settings,
Yeah,
Vicky.
yeah.
But on mine, on the top, very, very
Yeah,
top,
yeah.
I have a settings, and then I go down to notifications. And then app
Lock screen notifications is where it would show up top if you allow it.
yeah, so these are app notifications. And if you press that little slide thing, it's either on or off. So I look sometimes and say, why am I getting notifications from, I try to keep them off. Bell sounds, oh. Do I have that as a notification? Bibliobop. I guess I thought I wanted to get notices if there's a sale at Bibliobop.
What the hell is a bibliobop?
It's a chain restaurant that just opened near Avon Commons.
Really?
That's in gluten-free.
Oh,
Cafeteria?
Yeah,
Sort of thing, yeah, there's several.
it's not Biblio, it's
Bibliobop.
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 Yeah,
Sandy's always.
I like
Inserts
Bibliobop.
level. Right.
Bibliobop, it's actually Asian food, and it makes a bowl for you, like Chipotle's. You go down the line, and I want some of that, and some of that. And it's also gluten-free.
Westgate too.
Yes, and Crockett Park. Crockett
Is it
Park has
okay?
one too.
All the pleasures of Congress, finding a place.
Finally
Yeah.
spreading out, oh, yeah.
God, I love Park Rock, it's almost like Midway Mall.
So anyway, you can turn off and on, like I get notice, I say, okay, I'll take notices from the Chronicle Telegram if it was, hopefully they're selective in what news they shoot me. And I can turn it off and on from there. So if you're getting notifications from places you don't care about, this is where you go, like Etsy. Why do I care about Etsy? So I'm gonna turn that off. And so on. And then I just back out when I'm done. And that's how you can affect what comes up here. And if you want to get rid of one, you just swipe it over. And swipe it over. Whoops, that's a secure lock. We'll deal with that later. And then back arrow, or you can hit the home button to go back.
And as you saw, when you swipe down and saw your notifications, go ahead and do that again. It said down the bottom notification settings, so you can go there to bring up the same thing with.
Okay, so notification settings, click there, and it takes me back to that list again. Well, it should be a shorter way to go.
Right.
Don't take the long way. Back up. And you're back to the home screen. And this, where it says that, says Tuesday, May 9th, and the time, that's a widget.
Yours isn't.
And you can
Locked.
add those widgets to your phone.
Right, or tell it how you want it displayed, as you can see.
Customize it,
Just
yeah.
The regular circle with the date.
And if you go right and left on it, it actually gives you how much screen time you're using.
For the apps, that's nice, I like that.
And send some notes and screen, oh, same thing over and
Get
over.
that in, I wasn't looking down.
That's her.
Is
widget.
was it something I set up to begin with, or it was there?
And it looks like it's, I don't know, maybe come with Samsung, it's different than. than
Sometimes you set these things up and then
Right. Forget.
months pass and you go, I don't know.
Now, the settings are different for every home manufacturer. The settings-
They could be,
It could be.
right, a lot of times
Same features, but
they're very similar, Android phones are similar, but some have nuanced differences.
What all can you do with the settings? I mean, maybe you can just
With
go-
the settings, you can do everything,
we did tape ourselves.
yeah, recording. See what you
On top of everything you remember.
Yeah, I did.
Here where I had the temperature, I think I had to set that up one time. And I can get the weather, and for the day, what hour is what, and scroll up and say what the temperature and the weather is going to be later in the week and so on.
I like the little icons they put in. after
Yeah,
you
over
did
here.
it. Yeah,
And then back up and I'm back to there, but that on my phone, if you don't see how to have that on your phone, we can look at you. Here's one, let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna tap on the blank space. And nothing happens.
well, there's nothing there.
Okay, sorry,
I wanna get to,
sorry.
I wanna get to, choose your desktops.
Is that where it is, or is
I don't
it,
know.
see, there it is, well, go back.
Oh, that's right, thank you. All right, I kind of
You
Tapped
long
on-
press
long pressed
Press
what I
the-
did.
the empty space.
I long pressed on an empty space, and at the bottom it says, do you want to change your wallpaper? Do you want to make a theme? Or do a widget? There it is.
Wallpaper can be gotten to also through settings, but the widgets, I don't know that you can, you have to do it this.
So if you go to like wallpaper, see how I've have this heart, pink heart thingy going, it's telling me, but I can go through the choices here and pick different ones.
Are those the only 4 shortcuts that come up when you do that one press?
Say that again. Oh, on hers, yes.
Can you set more?
I don't think so. It's an operating system setting, so.
But I know I can add themes and so on from outside of what's loaded.
Right, but that's within the thing. He's talking about the 4 icons down here.
Oh, okay.
Can you do
Okay.
anything other than those? The answer is.
And the widgets will be. Do you want a Facebook widget that has a picture on it? No, not necessarily.
Spotify control
Yeah, you can have a
widget there.
direct link to Gmail. You could add on which shows you the first message, most recent message maybe. And so on. So these are widgets you can play with to put on. your phone. Under widgets, and we got to that by long pressing on a blank space on the screen.
Mhm.
And then you can, experiment with wallpaper.
And this is an easy way to drag stuff you don't want up to the trash can, you can just drag your icon.
Yeah, so you have a trash can at the top, very top row. So if you have an icon or something there you don't want,
Or a bunch of icons, because if you just have one, you can just,
because it's different to delete an app from your phone.
Oh, yes.
And to just remove
Delete
it
the
from the home screen.
right,
One's uninstall and the other
Right.
which takes
Yeah,
it all the way out.
exactly.
Right, and you gotta keep that in mind as you're moving things around. Yeah.
Text.
And if you can't find, let's see if this works, on my phone, you swipe up from the bottom and you see how many screens of apps I have. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's all the folder.
I bought a large capacity phone just because I like to play with
I don't know.
apps. But if let's say I want that Visor program, and there's too many screens to go through, I can go here and type Visor.
What does that do?
And that's the program we're using
Share
to,
the screen.
the one we're using to show on, it's something you don't want,
Okay.
you don't want. But then it said, oh, by typing the word in, that's where it is on the list of all these things.
Now,
And then-
is yours in alphabetical order? I didn't notice that. Some don't.
I think, well, no, I think you can change it. You can either get all of those apps alphabetical or by most recent added.
Mine's
Okay.
alphabetical.
Because I have my most recent added at the end of the list by default. So it came up here and I held down Visor. So if I click on it, it says add to home screen, uninstall, or get more app info. And then I can choose to move it where I can find it more easily without doing a search the next time. But I don't think I'll need this because the only time I'll
See,
use it is here.
on mine, I think mine goes, let's see, yeah, up and down. Yours goes left and right. You get the more,
Oh, to get more.
there you go. But mine are in alphabetical order. And maybe that is part of the settings. I've never changed it.
I see
So-
Claudia there.
I did that. But anyway, oh, you mean on the, yeah,
Zoom.
I thought you meant on my apps. I'm going, "Oh, yes." So anyway, so for me, it's relatively easy to find one without having to do a search, because I just go down the alphabetical.
And they're alphabetical.
Right, unless it's named some weird thing that I would never think
Yeah,
of.
sometimes you don't even know what did they call
Yeah,
it,
and-
like Visor, why would I remember Visor?
Right.
I still don't know how to get to my SD card.
Oh,
Well, what do you mean, how to get to?
to see what's on it.
Here's, I
And
usually
you
just go
have
through
an
file
SD
manager.
card, so
I
show
don't
her.
have it.
Here's, where's my files? Files, so I'm gonna click on files.
But how did she see how you get to files?
Well, it was in my all apps. So, I mean, I just know I
Yeah,
use.
I
file
must think it's called My Files.
So for me, let's see here, it shows my internal storage and my SD
Oh.
card,
I
So-
see it, okay.
okay? So, I can just browse, just like a Windows computer, I can browse my SD card and see all the folders I've got in there. So,
That's fine.
and then I can open up one particular folder or whatever, go into downloads and see. There's all kinds of folders in my downloads,
Don't never put
folder.
nothing in this.
well, that's.
I got
something you
3
set
items
up.
there.
Well,
You have to set it up in your settings. to
sometimes you
take
could
it-
say save
Right.
to,
Just like I did with the camera.
on your computer, you do that too, your
Mhm.
laptop or whatever, you can tell it save to my.
Right.
Wherever. On mine, I have a category called utilities. That I grouped all these kind of things together and I have my files. And then like Mickey showed here, I have internal storage. SD card not inserted, but I don't think I can put one in this phone.
Apparently you can. If it's not
What?
inserted, that means you can.
I'll have to go look.
Otherwise, it wouldn't even be there,
Okay.
that category.
OneDrive is a Microsoft product.
Yes.
And then Google Drive, I do use that.
Mhm.
Because I can put something in my Google Drive on my laptop here. And when I open up Google Drive on my phone, there it is, and I can move it off.
Or now you can do your nearby share.
And I also have nearby share. I don't know if we wanna
No,
analyze storage. I have that as an option. Do you have analyze storage? somewhere?
probably,
And that'll tell you how much of your space that
Actually,
you
that's
have
under
is
settings.
being used.
for me, it would be under settings and there's a separate storage category. And then if you go free up space is basically your analyze.
There's, let me show you this one. It popped up. I think this is kind of interesting. This squirrely line down here is one I moved to there, but it's in my apps. Because we use it a lot, and I don't know if any of you. It's called Life 360. And if family members that are signed, presumably members that have signed into this program with you, I can see where they are. So you can see here, I'm up here by Lake Erie. My daughter, I just got a notification, stopped home. She usually comes home for lunch about this time.
Oh my gosh.
Zach is at school and so on. And if they're moving, like she must be moving because it says car, I can see them on the highway actually moving, and it'll say 69 miles an hour
That's funny.
and so on. And it's really,
Spying on your kids.
well, we all agreed to be,
Right.
because you have to like go back and forth with each other and say, yes, I approve, and so on.
And they started off.
Yeah. Because every once in a while, my grandson will turn himself off and I say, the deal is you're supposed to be turned on. So the family knows where you are. Like my granddaughter's been driving back and forth sometimes from Wilmington College, 3 hours away to Amherst. And I can track her as she's moving. I don't know why. And actually, if I go up here, I have a family group.
Whoever
And-
has their phone is done. You don't know that it's done.
And then here's another family group that's
Oh, really?
this is my brother Doug's family. And he wanted to add me on because sometimes I'd pick him up for an appointment or something. He wanted to see if I was on my way and so on. And so now I can see all his family, which I really don't want to. And he's in a family group with his daughter's family.
So whatever family group he's in, you follow them too?
Well, if I go over there, if I go to that grouping, because within the program you have different, like his is called family, which was real clever. And mine is Diedrich family. That's where my daughter is. And if you click on one person, and scroll up, you get to see, I just made a 5-mile trip from my house to here. And this is the time I left and came. And so on. And you can do that for the different people.
So do your kids spy on you?
Well, my grandson, if he's waiting, it says, Grandma, haven't you left yet? I'm looking at the app, you're not. And the one time I was supposed to pick him up and he said, I missed my usual turn. And he's on text saying, you're supposed to turn back at the fire station. Where are you going? Hey, kid, give me a break.
Over.
Turn something on by mistake because I got this summary from Google about where I've been.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. History. You can turn history on.
They track that by default.
They said that I had turned something on, that's why. I was getting-
Really? I thought it was on by default.
Yeah, okay, so how do I turn?
Yeah, I thought you had to opt out rather than opt in.
No.
Right,
maybe-
that's what I
Maybe I said it.
Yeah.
But there it was.
Because those that are tricky is when you all of a sudden find something's going on, and unless you knew to say, no, I don't want to be a part of this, you're a part of it. And what Google and Amazon and all those do is gather information
Tell it to
to market to you,
Sure.
or
Do
to,
they no longer like notify you that there's a new update?
For what?
I guess.
Okay, for what?
System.
Oh, no, well,
Because
it depends on how you have your settings. It usually, mine will tell me, yeah, there's an update available. and do you want to put it in or not? Some will just
Like
automatically.
an app updates or.
Oh, app updates are through Google Play usually,
Yeah.
and they'll say, yeah,
Like, if you have the app on your phone and they update it, you get a notification that they've updated.
not if it's already been updated, no, but a lot of times it'll say, you know, you have this many apps that need to be updated, and then I just usually go update them
But
all.
do you have to go to Google Play to see the,
There, I have auto update turned on, and I still have to sometimes go in and do update all, but then
authorize
again,
it or?
I'm not a phone person, so a lot of times.
He
I
doesn't have a
turn-
lot.
No, I mean, when I'm home, it's on. This phone is off. I'm at my desktop and I turn it on when I leave. So maybe with the auto updates haven't, you know, we're scheduled for when I had it turned off. But if I had it turned on all the time, it probably would have.
Well, usually it seems like if I'm getting a phone update, it'll say there is an update.
yeah.
Do you want it now, or do you want us to remind you later? Because if you're in the middle of something, you don't want
Especially with a phone update, it's a major,
a major one where they have to stop and
Takes some time.
turn, yeah, and then they have to turn off the phone or
yes.
turn it back on now.
If I was turning off and on, I had a couple of friends that really thought that they were turning their phone off. Because the screen was.
Oh,
And
yeah, there's a difference, between, right, between blocking it.
All of my phones. And my friend that was having a surprise party for her husband. And her phone kept ringing, she got swearing, but the phone is turned off. So there is a difference between the screen going dark and having your phone.
And then there's-
And so her phone had never updated anything because it never been.
Oh, wow.
Never really was turned off like she thought.
Never been updated.
Well, you know, some people leave their desktop or particularly desktop on, and then they'll go to sleep and they don't forget about it. And it needs updating.
Mhm.
And if you don't purposely go in and say, turn it off and then turn it back on, it's not up to date.
Right.
So we charged extra for all those ringtones during the choir service because. Because her phone kept.
You know, somebody's always gonna ring a phone in a situation where they shouldn't. And you can you show where you go in to turn off the bell?
Your car.
The ringer?
Yeah,
On
turn
your
the volume down.
Okay, on Mickey's phone, he goes
The
into
settings.
Vibrator.
settings,
Okay, here we go.
and then he
Sound and
go to
vibration.
sound and vibration.
So there's all my settings for those now. Some
Do
apps,
not disturb, would that
well,
cover it?
oh yeah, you can, well, do not disturb, the easy way to get to do not disturb. Or is just turn, you know, either airplane mode on or do not disturb up top here. So I've got do not disturb or airplane mode.
And you got to that by
Go to swiping down from the bottom, from the top. So if I swipe down from the top, I get my notifications and then, I can see there's do not disturb right there. I can turn it on right away.
So do not disturb will silence the phone
Right,
until you turn it back. Go back and say,
Yes.
disturb me.
yeah, and, do not disturb and airplane mode should pretty much.
Cause airplane mode puts it
Turns all
with
the
no
radios off.
internet,
Turns all the radios off,
even Bluetooth,
right? Should, yeah.
cause technically you're not supposed to be running your
Right,
phone on an airplane.
well, at least not during takeoff and landing.
Yeah, that. On my phone, I swipe down from the top and I get a row here that says I'm on Wi-Fi. And the second one
Your volume.
is the
Sound,
phone, and if I click on that, see how it had a line through it?
Yeah, that's your volume.
Yeah, and now I don't have sound, and then if I click again,
You gotta
it's
click
a
it
different
again.
level,
well, that's everything off.
There
This
you
is everything on.
everything
but
on.
not vibrate, do it again. See, that's.
That's a
on
vibrate.
and Off
Vibrate.
with vibrations.
That's it, that's
So-
the
So
difference.
it'll
Thank you.
vibrate, but not
Ring.
make noise.
So, cause sometimes you could be in a situation where you really are
You need
need
notifications.
need a access like in a movie and you don't want the phone to ring, but you don't mind if it vibrates. And you'll say, oh, should I step out and take this call or read this notification? So vibrate can be an option. And then in my case, it says Next one is what, Bluetooth?
No, the
Yes.
next-
And then the next one
When
says
turn your volume,
Auto rotate,
the volume, well, no, that's light and dark.
right,
no, the volume thing you hit it again and then hit it
Oh.
again.
okay, so, yeah.
All right.
And then over here, this is airplane mode on mine, the little airplane.
Flashlight.
So if I tap it, it will
Well.
put it
no,
in airplane.
Well, what's the little
That's
one
flashlight.
next to the
That's
volume?
Flashlight.
This is
Next
the
to the
flashlight.
Oh, that one.
This is Bluetooth,
Oh, that's a Bluetooth. And then the next,
auto rotate or not.
oh, okay, I got
So sometimes if you go like this, you don't want it to
do that.
reacclimate, whatever the word is. And then if I scroll down again on mine, I get a few more. They move down airplane mode, flashlight, power saving, if I'm getting real low on my battery. But that's annoying because they turn off all kinds of things that I
Yeah.
expect to do.
Mhm.
Wireless power sharing, I don't do that. Mobile data, mobile hotspot. Oh, you can create, mine will let me create a mobile hotspot and then I could get online with my laptop, for instance.
About power, Sandy, could you, in a nutshell, tell us whether we should have our phones fully charged?
No,
Go down to zero,
no,
somewhere in the middle,
yes,
every other day, like, what's the best?
In the 60% or
20 to 80%.
20 to 80 is ideal.
If you
Never
use,
go 100%,
never go 100%.
Well, I
Go zero.
Right,
plug it in overnight, it's 100 when I get up.
uh,
But I know that's not,
But what do you do if you're doing it wrong?
Why, what's the
What's the
deal?
worst case
You can't get it up.
weakens the battery.
yeah, shortens the life,
Yeah,
exactly,
shortens the battery life.
Right.
It's good for about a year and a half, 2 years.
yeah, not necessarily,
What should I worry about?
a lot,
Yeah,
yeah,
if I can wear out the battery and
Oh,
under
yeah.
2 years.
I think that's the first thing I always notice, is
Right,
my battery
yes.
won't hold the
Most
charge
people-
or.
so I use this program called AccuBattery, AccuBattery, right here, so,
And you installed this.
yeah, so it tells me, I mean, when I'm charging it, it'll beep at me at 80%. And
Oh.
okay, you're done. So,
It shuts it off automatically.
no, it does not, you have to yank the cable,
But
but,
that would be nice if it.
yeah, it would be, but I don't think that the technology is.
I'm gonna play one.
I don't know the technology is there, but anyway,
There must be one.
so that's one thing you could do if you wanna, you know.
Cause on my phones in the back,
Plugging in your phone charger into a timer.
And
that might work. As my smart plugs, I can have it power on and off it.
And the lights are going off and on.
But yeah, that's a consideration.
Right.
So how about other questions, or we can repeat things that we've made,
Is there-
we made confusing.
What did you want to know about pictures, Eddie?
Oh, he wanted to write on a picture.
Didn't you want to write on
Oh,
a picture? Yeah. Can
You know, the best way I could think of that is,
Go into the picture and
where are my photos? Oh, here, photos.
tap on the picture.
And I don't know if you go
Or
directly to
Snapseed.
Snapseed or you open that after you get a photo, but Snapseed is a
Cause it is.
side
But it should
picture, I mean, a side app, you gotta load.
Open up the stick hand.
So, yeah, this is a cute one. Oh, no, I'm under
Ah,
attack.
I like that.
So Facebook, I just gotta say, but,
How do you write that?
okay, so I went to Snap Tools and I picked this picture. And I think it's under
Now
tools.
you got to click under open. Well, no, if, when you first opened up Snapseed, it said tap anywhere to open up a picture. You did.
Okay, I opened a
And
picture,
then you got a picture, so now you're gonna click open,
open,
up top left. There you go.
Snapfish, is that what you said?
Oh, maybe, no, Snapseed. Oh, I guess, okay,
okay, let's go to
all right,
tools.
just-
I'm gonna go to
well-
tools and see what happens.
okay.
All right,
And-
under tools, they've got lots of stuff.
There-
And I think one of these lets you write on a
scroll down.
picture.
Text. there you go.
Text. See at the bottom?
How did you get to that?
Okay, we'll go back and do that, but it says double tap here to change text.
Oh, you're in
Tap, tap.
Facebook.
No, she's not in
No.
Facebook, she's
No.
in Snapseed.
All right, well, we'll
That's
do,
the
go
program.
back up and do it again.
That's the program that she said.
So double tap here to change the text, double tap.
Double click it again, double tap it again, you'll select everything.
So good at this.
Right.
I'm
There you
backing
go.
up
There
and
you go.
deleting it.
See,
This,
Snap seed.
yep.
you'll,
Yeah,
yeah,
we did a program on this,
Well-
months ago.
Snap fish. What the hell, snap feed?
this
I have no idea what Snapfish is, but.
is,
Go back to.
okay, there you are. This is funny. Okay. Okay,
Oh, geez, what happened to it? Unless you put, okay, do it again.
Then you gotta hit.
double
okay.
tap,
She did.
select all, delete. Hello.
Yeah, there you
Less
go.
less
Right.
words.
And you say, okay, before you click anything else,
There it is.
There it is.
okay.
And I think you can go in and make
Snap
that
to
smaller or
Change the
different color.
font and- Right.
But let me back up, or I would probably save that if I wanted.
So you get snap.
Okay,
seed.
Snapseed is an
an app.
add-on,
Right, it's just an app.
add-on
App from,
app.
like,
So you
Play
go to
Store?
the app store,
Yeah. from-
Oh.
everything's-
add Snapseed.
Oh, I got it. It's right here.
May have added.
Yeah. I have to put it on yours,
Yeah.
maybe.
The Google.
It's not in Facebook.
Geeks on Tour. Couple, she did a real nice show on Snapseed, she loves it. So,
So if you wanted a freehand, like circle something freehand on that, you went onto the brush.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
it's got a lot of nice abilities. And actually, she showed, her show that I watched Sunday, she showed, Google now has a, what's it called, background delete or something,
Oh, okay, eraser.
eraser.
Or
So if you pull up a picture and it actually, well, like she had her and her husband standing by the lake and two strangers in the back. And she hit eraser and it suggested, you want me to get rid of these two people? And by outlining them, and she said, yes, and they were gone, and the background filled in.
Oh, I've seen that.
A new version.
It's so
has
cool, and that
words.
comes right in with, I think that's one you have to be a
Oh,
Google member.
no, a Geeks member, Geeks on Tour.
No, sometimes to watch them, but no, that's a feature that Google's starting to put some of their fun bells and whistles features behind a paywall. You've got to be a $2 a month member, which gives you like another terabyte of storage space or some amount.
Yeah, I noticed there, when I
It
opened.
gives you a huge storage amount, and then they're throwing all these extra features in to incentivize you to pay $2 a month.
Your Gmail and your photos are giving you ads.
Yeah, exactly, right,
Try not to read all these ads, spend your whole day.
yeah, exactly.
It's free.
Like on YouTube, which they own. For $10 a month, you can eliminate their, where you're watching something interesting and it stops and says, buy our product. And it's $10, and that gives you more space in your music and everything else. So they're trying to, and that makes it kind of complicated, but
To get a free membership in like a 12-step program for all the things you become addicted to.
you gotta. Yeah, and then you say, well, that's so cool. Yeah,
And you can't be afraid to think, oh my God, I have to go back 5 miles because I forgot to put it with me.
Add text.
And there are specific things that people.
right, and they know
Protect your role.
they can
They
know where people are going.
I know what you're buying, I know.
Well, like we said, that you can do a search for some product, even on the internet, open internet, on certain kind of doorknob, something, and all of a sudden you're getting ads for doorknobs like that. And somebody said that they had a dream about something. weird, and they woke up, they were getting messages about, oh, they didn't know what I pressed.
Yeah. Like, I never searched that, I was just thinking about
It's like, it's smarter than we are, that's.
it. When I drove somewhere, you're looking for a phone, and you go in and type it in your car. And you're like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Keep coming down, like rating, and it can come down.
And sometimes, but sometimes you can go up and you can go look for something anonymously, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh. Which has, like they say on airplane flights or something, you should start looking anonymously.
During airplane flights.
Yeah, because sometimes you go back to look at the ticket again later. and
Oh,
all
no,
this.
They will give you that.
not on airplane flights, but if you're buying, that's right. Right, you're looking to buy,
That's not clear.
Not being on airplanes.
yeah.
That wasn't clear. Yeah, while you're looking for the price, it might go up because, oh, she's back
It
again.
says SG,
Gee,
and then it'll.
my close to
then
mine was charging
That's
one.
5G, and then it says light, LIT.
LTE,
LTE.
LTE is long-term evolution, which is
Okay.
the current, well, not the current, it's the next to the last current generation, and then 5G is the latest generation.
Then on this end, it looks like another battery.
You know, I wanted to, we have time?
Yeah.
We, Google Lens, we looked at it one other time. Can we get to her? I didn't,
Who heard?
Geeks on Tour
Oh.
had that little special. I think I can email it to you, the link.
Yeah, okay, either that or we can just go,
Friend.
apparently they dropped off.
Oh,
This is probably hard to do at home. Observe.
Depends on how well our audio, we got the mic right here, so I'm hoping the audio is coming. So we wanna do what, then?
Google Lens with Geeks on Tour, see if it'll come up.
Google
I've got
Lens,
it,
here's this one,
yeah, try
is
that.
it behind the paywall or?
I don't know, we'll find out. The one I had, it was,
Look at
it was
that.
okay.
Let's see,
this was well worth coming to.
4:55, okay, it's on.
Yeah, this is only 5 minutes, so, and I think we showed it one other time, but
Okay, how about Google Lens?
Oh, Google
Yeah,
Lens
yeah,
is
you
so
can get that
cool.
on.
Now this
is
I have
a
to show you on the mobile
website with a
device, so
collection of
I
all
will do
their
that.
trainings.
I'm going to use the Android, although this works exactly the same on iOS or Android.
Okay.
And Google Lens obviously is a feature
Oh, big
by
little
Google.
letter.
What is
Yeah.
Google Lens? Google Lens is this
it.
button right here that will investigate the photo and tell you what it is. So this is a photo that we took in Arches National Park, Utah. And I think that's called Delicate Arch, but I'm not sure. I tap on Lens,
There you go.
it investigates the photo, and it tells me that, silly, is the Corona Arch.
I told you so.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Next sample. Where is this? I just tap the Google Lens, and now it says, well, there's several things on here. It thinks maybe we want to buy a safety vest. No, I want to know what that bridge is back there. And it says that is the Rialto Bridge. And if I click through, it would tell you that that is in Venice, Italy.
You know, I don't think this is the
Okay.
one. It was,
More examples.
hold on.
What kind of bird is this?
Noisy. I remember those birds. They were very, very,
Very,
noisy.
very noisy.
Oh,
That is an
if you can
Egyptian
hear it,
goose.
it's-
And we would never have known that but for Google Lens. How about a flower? What kind of flower is that?
Pretty.
Just tap Google Lens. It tells me that's a purple passion flower. But there's more. See this sign here? This was a sign at a Civil War park where we were at in Mississippi somewhere. And notice there's a QR code here. I can make that a little bit bigger. And if I do Google Lens, it will read that QR code and take me to wherever it was.
Yes,
So it's a video.
Because she's a geek.
You were supposed to scan that code while you're standing there in the park in the hot sun and watch this video about where you are. But no, all you have to do is take a picture of it, and you can watch it anytime by using Google Photos and Google Lens. A business card, once again, if I do Google Lens on a business card, I can even tap where her phone number is, and Google Photos will make a phone call based on the phone number that it sees in a picture. It will also, if you want, it will add that as a contact to your
address book,
contacts, but
yeah.
I don't want, I just want to dial the number once in a while. Notice this one.
What's the question?
Does it work on barcodes? Google Lens?
It should.
You have a hat like that?
On our
Does
website.
she or who does who? Chris, yeah,
I don't, but
yeah,
Chris and her husband wear one.
right. The propeller heads.
So what are we?
This is Chinese characters. I want to know what those Chinese characters say. Google Lens, tap translate, and there we go. It takes the Chinese characters and translates
I think that's
into
cool.
English.
Yeah, that is good.
And the last example is, here's a whole newspaper clipping. Let's say that I would like the text of that newspaper clipping to put into a blog post or something like that. Google Lens, text, select all, copy text. Now I can go anywhere else. I'm just going to go to an email because it's easy, and paste. There is the complete text
To get
of
something
that
from
newspaper
Yeah,
article
PDF
do
to,
OCR,
in editable
text in
form.
minute. There's other ways. but
I
this
think that is just amazing.
Most OCR programs are expensive.
And that is Google Lens, which is just built in to Google Photos.
So this one's on our website too, right?
No, it's not.
Oh,
But we can share the link. I've got,
would you do that?
Is it easy just to search for things online? Geeks on Tour.
We just go to geeksontour.com.
Google Lens, for example.
and then she has a link to,
All I did was I went to geeksontour.com and up in the, where are we?
Search box.
Can't see my tabs here.
You gotta bring it down a little bit.
I can, but I can't because
Can't
bar-
get it.
this bar is in my way. This Zoom bar, which is a problem when you're. So I just went to here, to the main page, and I searched.
where she
Oh,
says
yeah, search.
tutorials up
See
there.
where it says search? All I did
Tutorials.
was I put lens in it.
Paywall, but there's
Right.
lots that aren't.
Right, so I
This
went
is
to
an open one.
geeksontour.com and I did put lens here and it hit search. That's all I did.
And she'll show a feature and then say, okay, now I'll show you on an iPhone. She brings the iPhone over and, knows what she's talking about and shows the same thing on an iPhone, because she's really knows, and she knows the Google Photos and the Google Pictures. And she's a certified Google something.
What if
Feature.
what about stuff that's like non-apps, like ask her about how long should I charge my phone?
Not as much,
Is there a site where there's stuff like that?
ChatGPT.
What's that?
ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence. You can Google it.
Yeah.
What's the recommended,
Yeah, there's lots of.
if you got,
But the thing is,
With
you
Google
might
Images.
get more than one opinion, and that's what I'm trying to.
well, the thing is, a lot of times I'm doing a search for something like that is getting the wording just right.
Yeah, fewer the better.
The right, and then if it's too narrow, then you add more to narrow in and. Try a couple different ways to get the, and when you've got Google results, you gotta watch and make sure it's not a sponsored site.
Right,
Cause the
don't
first,
put in her top 10.
the first ones, and they'll have a little symbol, and that's something somebody paid to get at the top of the list. Now, sometimes they are a legitimate,
Now, what's that? Is that true? What they're charging my?
No, I got it.
False. But
yeah, you could ask a
you just brought something up.
oh,
But is that what we're really talking about, overloading the battery, or are we talking about something else that basically is wearing it out versus over? The terminology might matter.
yeah, right.
Oh, see you later.
And sure, let us know if you have questions. I mean, there's all of this coming out and going around, and it's got a, do you have a specific?
But now I'm not afraid to go in there and start punching buttons. I thought. Oh, I could.
Is there a
just go in
magic
my
way?
phone,
No,
you
no,
know,
don't worry about that.
Or
We just give it to
send
Sandy, she'll fix it.
my
Just come to a template.
life savings to somebody accidentally.
You know, that's the trouble, and this has been with computers all along. You give a senior and they're going like, you know, should I touch this? What do I do next? What do I touch? What do I touch? I'm afraid to touch it. I'm gonna break it. And you give it to a kid,
5 years old, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
it works. They make it work. Their thinking is
Well, they're
entirely
raised
different.
with it, we weren't. They're
And
raised with it, I mean,
And-
that's what they do in kindergarten,
and
in
if I tell
preschool.
my grandson, you know, the steps or something like that, talk about it.
Yeah,
But these are the ones that end up in, right after they said, watch this.
jeez.
Are they,
Doesn't mean they know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, they know what they're doing most of the time.
Is iPhone, you know, iPhones, I think has a little, they have a little over 50% of the market now.
Really?
Yeah. I like my Android myself.
I do too.
And you know, once you get started with one, it's hard to,
Yeah.
I never cared for Apple.
but on Apple, like when I do my books or music on Apple, at least last time I tried it. It was too restrictive. You had to go through iTunes, you had to do it their way, whereas Android was more,
Yeah, trying to
Get into the settings.
get to Google on iPhone.
oh, is that?
In the old days, get that.
Yeah, I think in my estimation, but it may be different now, I don't know.
Android still has the market.
But I think Apple now, you know, my young people in my family all have iPhones. Because their friends have iPhones and there you go.
Yeah, they're like Dropbox. and all
Yeah.
that.
Now, my son-in-law works for different companies over time. And a lot of times they'll give him a phone, especially at the beginning. Nowadays, they'll say, well, I'll just give you a phone allowance, use what you want. But
There you go.
he's used both because of that, and he has to really think, which he likes. I don't know how he goes back and forth, but he said I really have to think which one I would prefer.
And maybe different things for different purposes.
Yeah. And then if you want it in the same environment of your laptop or desktop computer, you know, what have you got for that? Because if I had a Mac or something, I'd probably want an iPhone. So they mesh together somehow, right? Yeah.
What I keep wanting is the phone I used to have. Just like I always wanted Windows 95 again.
You know, there's one,
We just go back to that simple.
there's one, let me see if I can pull it up here. Mickey might be able to do it better, but let me real quick. There's an app. There's an app for that.
I want my old phone back.
He keeps saying the flip phone.
You can't do a lot of research on that, gotta admit.
And the photography is more limited, and
Big launcher.
this is one that I thought looked kind of cool, and you'd probably want somebody to set it up
Oh, man.
for you.
Big what?
Big launcher.
It's called Big Launcher, and you add it to, yeah,
Big lunch.
What is it supposed to do, Sandy?
it,
Do you have trouble reading your old phone's display? Do you want to use one of those large screen smartphones, but they are just too complicated for you? Launcher is also great for the legally blind and people with motor problems. So stop squinting at your smartphone screen. Simplify it. Enjoy calling and texting with your grandchildren. Download Big Launcher now. You can also try
it
the
gives
free
you
demo
big
version before you buy.
icons for the
This offer won't last long, so download now.
things you want to do.
Oh,
And they're telling that you all their time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the story about Alexa.
So Big Launcher is something that you go in and it's kind of invites you through a setup, which I'm assuming if you got all these problems, you'd need someone to set it up for you. But then to make a phone call is one big button, you know, to send a text, or you pick and choose what you want on that front screen.
Oh,
Is that- you like that? I thought people should be aware.
These things make big dents in drywall. They do,
When you throw it in frustration.
yeah.
I understand. I
That's why he
understand.
thought this would have been a good program, and I got.
And I,
a lot from this
if you put
program.
someone in here and answer everybody's questions, then the, you know, the person that's not got their, not going with it
together.
yet, are,
They're confirmed, they're not gonna move.
there's a lot of health apps you can get. I can keep track of blood pressure and all these things on the phone, and, my brother just got a thing that goes on his arm, and he does it insulin.
Insulin, yeah, checking.
Well, no, this is just a monitor to give him the number. Yeah, so without,
That new thing they're advertising where you don't have to prick your finger, you just put the watch.
well, that's what this, well, it's,
But you still got a needle with it, but it's a sensor on your arm, and it just, you don't.
Oh, no, that's
I
not.
haven't seen it. I've only had it for a week or two.
Change.
No, this is a new thing, they come out with a watch, it's like a watch. And there's a
That's a
beam
lot more
that goes through it and tests your blood, that goes through your skin.
What, did you have one, something at the beginning?
I
Yeah.
put my pump
Out.
into the drywall.
Oh, that's what it's yeah.
But, the thing that annoyed my brother is he said, right away, my wife figured out how to read it. Now she's monitoring my
Yeah,
insulin. It's a little
That's
annoying.
where it's going. You got that? Exactly. You know,
Get it to
But she didn't like the idea of him knowing, well, I stopped at this store after work and that.
up and down, whether it was. The room.
Gotta get a bar with beer with no carbs.
So,
yeah, my pump and my reader, nothing worked together. My pump would,
Keep saying it was clogged,
yeah, would say it's plugged.
and it wasn't.
And then you gotta do the whole routine over again. I went through it 3 times in one night.
It's just a
Punching so many.
monitor detector or
A
something.
lot of people use them for weight loss. stuff, too.
And
These
then-
new drugs are,
Watching.
I think keto wants to know what their, is that insulin, I guess? I don't know.
Ketone. Ketone.
It's the diet, yeah, they do want sugar. Sugar.
KETO.
Keto.
That's the
It's
keto.
the diet.
Oh, keto
that's-
diet,
And it's based on the study of the ketones.
and it sure don't work either.
What?
Yeah, they're just
It
on
also.
the way over, they
based on what it
was
is.
interviewing a person, giving the speech on how they work for UH. But get a paper. Drugs are about looking at the money.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this, yeah, where they're now using something they give
Oh,
you
those
to
are-
modify your insulin.
Yeah.
They're using it for Weight Watchers has gone to drugs instead of,
Came from the Gila amounts for saliva.
Wow.
but I have to eat gluten-free, and on the YouTubes, you know, you watch one and it says, oh, she watched the whole thing, let's give her another one. Just like it. And
No, you know that they're playing with you.
so the gluten ones often run into the keto ones. And because they're similar.
You know, it used to be like the Mediterranean diet, you know, it's all had.
Right, I just, they just
so much
on Mediterranean.
Yeah, there's so much on that.
Well, I can't,
Just gave me,
I use Ozempic and I only lost about 10 pounds.
oh, it's a start.
I just can't lose.
More than that.
That won't go down. I don't care. I eat twice a day and I try not to eat after like 6 o'clock and
But you're
my
using one of
sugar is
those,
decent, but I just can't lose the
but
weight.
you're using one of those medications that they're giving
Yeah.
people for weight loss now.
Right,
But they're expensive.
yeah.
And it completely changes the philosophy of weight loss. That it isn't food-based to begin with. It's not, people aren't heavy because they're eating it. They're heavy because of something else that's.
Yeah. Fair.
And then you might, do you always have to take it, or are you getting back those 40 pounds right away?
Doctors were just basically taught 2 things, diet and exercise. What are they gonna do now? You want meds?
Yeah.
So that their merit is controlled by their prescription companies anyway, isn't it?
Oh, pretty much. Yeah, well,
Wanna go there?
I can get a 3-month
That's
supply.
different.
I can get a 3-month supply of Ozempic through Optum or my insurance. It's
Anything
$40 for 3 months. Otherwise, they're $45 each. If you buy them separate for a month, like from Rite Aid. So I can get 3 of them for $40.
I pay for an
$1,500.
I pay for a prescription company, you know, I'm tacked onto my regular,
Medicare G.
yeah, that, all that. And I can get 3 of the pills through the Medicare and everything through Walgreens
Why?
for the best price.
Why?
3 of them, I go to Drug Mart and it's Good RX.
Good, all right.
Now tell me,
You're right, Aid, or anything.
yeah, but they give me a list and the Good Drug Mart usually turns out to be a.
When you're told that you get a free month of your prescription run,
It's-
you know,
Go
they're
figure.
going you into, you know,
It's like an app, we got an app that does all this in that free month,
Yeah.
or TV channel, you stream a TV channel.
it's free for everybody, yeah.
Yeah, and if you forget to cancel it.
Well, sure.
It's not- Well, you would read to that in the fine print,
Exactly.
been there, done that.
The 3 months prescription, you know.
Amazing how much money you can make off of chalk.
Yeah, well, it's reimbursement. right?
No, it's not, it's tricky.
It's not even about
Yeah.
that,
$50 for 3
but anything
years.
where it's an FTC or
Can't get any cheaper.
food and drug requirement, they will take the requirement.
15
and
for three.
monetize it.
15,000 for 3 years. $5 a year.
That's how they control.
Just take cash or just.
Anything.
Membership.
Well, I think, yeah, I want to support the, I intend to come here and I already learned some stuff today, but support the group, I mean, we're not gonna get rich at that.
What's the membership a month, a year?
15 for 3 years.
Oh, it's good for it.
Most of us won't may not be here in 3 years.
Bite your tongue. I'm fighting that dying stuff.
What's the Mickey?
French.
Anybody know?
Uh-huh.
We got all paid up.
The on.
Yeah, usually that's what does.
That's what it
You
is.
learn a lot.
And you learned how confused you were, right?
Sitting there going, what's? Oh, no.
That was great.
Well, and come back with your questions,
I
email.
think you should do a part A or part B. D, that's it.
So you can go home and try things and come back and say, oh, I'm so confused about this or that.
Setting.
And she's gone.
Setting what you do.
With what each setting variable,
Yeah.
you know, and I started, a lot of times I can find a good YouTube to explain things, but I'm picky. I want somebody who's speaking in English.
Without inflection.
And, you know, to get to the point and that, you know, yeah, and it's sometimes hard to find something.
And there's probably a rating service that if you pay behind the wall, it will tell you which ones are worth watching and which ones are don't watch.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Or there's a 3-month service.
well, you know, and a lot of these guys who make, and gals who make the videos all the time, I mean, they want you to subscribe to their service and click on ring, because they build the numbers watching their show, and they get more money back.
Trickle down, just like.
But they gotta be doing a good job, or you wouldn't subscribe to it. Presumably.
Subscribe to it.
No, but I do subscriptions,
I'm afraid that I'm gonna subscribe to something that's gonna.
but yeah, you know, they get money back on YouTube just by having viewers.
Right.
Usually they don't. Occasionally there'll be a money level, but not as often.
Yeah, depending on whether you're paying or not, there's just more ads, right? I mean,
It's like a lot of them, the Patreon or something.
Patreon is one that,
Where that's more like.
they're the
that's,
go-between, so you subscribe to them through and make them money. Like the Text for Senior I like to watch, they don't charge you for the service, but at the beginning of the year especially, they ask for donations. And they have a certain amount that they cost for their server and your equipment and everything. And they always make that donation amount within a month. And then they have on their website, buy me a cup of coffee. And that goes through an app that will collect your money and give it to.
like sell or something.
Well, yeah, but the front end of it is just real simple, and if you're a nonprofit, I think especially.
Well, you know, anybody can say that.
Unless you require their LTDSD or something. And if anybody would like to see anything besides, like this, or we can do this again, or we're gonna do security and
Securities and stuff.
yeah, we'll do that next month and give us ideas.
Yeah, but meanwhile, don't lose your phone, Sandy, because they can change your lights, change the furnace, change your window deal.
They got in my fingerprint, which I barely have.
Lock you out of your house. Be careful with that phone.
Sandpaper, say.
I have my phone set up where I can ask Alexa. I say, Alexa, call my phone. And that's helpful. Except if I look at her car and I'm telling her in the house, I know.
Here, it's ringing in the car. You don't have an income to do that.
No, I don't have a
Well,
landline.
there I am, it's 12:30. It's dark, it's cold and wet, and I've got my cordless phone out there in the car. I know it's in the car because the car is ringing. Which of the Bermuda triangles is
Between the seats or where?
between the seats, under the seats, in the back? Today they're on WCLD, there was a Tuesday, about Tuesdays like.
More than you want, huh?
I take it easy, kiddo.
The weirdest place you ever found your phone, that was kind of a little call.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Cause I know, Lorna, who's not with us anymore, but she was so sure she dropped her car at the recycling place or something of all things, and they were closed and she couldn't get, where it was between her seats in her car when she finally,
Did somebody call her?
but she was panicked and trying to call the president of the recycling place.
Did the pharmaceutical companies build something into the phone so that you'll have to take drugs because you. It's a slippery slope.
Now listen to this, my girlfriend went to Vegas. And her boyfriend went to Vegas. And I get this phone call from her, it says Lil's phone. And it's a lady at a store. And what she did was Lil left it sitting on the counter.
She called the first number
So she
in it.
called the number that she had listed as the first number. And I said, well, I'll call her boyfriend and tell her to come back and get her.
But a lot of times it's locked or it's locked. And you can't, someone can't call out of it. Well, I did, I left it in a library.
There you go. There you go.
And when I called the phone number, the librarian answered and said, hi, is this the owner of this phone? But yeah, I think you should have something that rings.
Like what your car will say, hey, you just left the key.
And I won't even lock it if you have the keys in it.
Yes, I'd like that. I'd like to, build a chip in my finger, and if I walk away from my phone.
It's in the little baby part of the shopping cart. Because it's
That
a
happens.
convenient place to leave it. And then
Yeah.
5 miles down the road, you go, oh my God.
Well, like if I'm listening to a book with my car or my phone in the holder. And turn off the car, I walk away and leave that damn thing in the car more often, even at home. And I don't, then I gotta put my shoes on, turn on the lights, and go off in the car, and get it out the car.
Isn't there a Find My Phone center?
Find my phone.
What do you call it? Yeah,
On your laptop.
She didn't make it.
No, she didn't.
the which one?
Ellen didn't make it.
Oh,
She said she was coming and she's not here. Maybe she thinks it's Thursday.
that's the trouble. We're back on Tuesdays, everybody.
Well, then
She was
it's right there too.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I didn't do that one.
The one
Copy
you
and
sent,
paste is a very dangerous thing.
I put it in my phone.
the one you sent the last,
I mean,
Yeah.
in my calendar.
said it.
Oh my God, no. Well, I'm glad people know what month it is more than I do.
I got both.
But so we're dealing.
I got one said, April, and then 1 or 2 days later, I got one that May.
Mickey corrected the one.
Well, I sent you a question. And then you sent something back. And there was something that said.
Matter.
It's May, and then there was something that said.
I'm just checking.
It's a wonder that we ever,
I gotta do my shot today.
You're probably reiterating Tuesday instead of Thursday, but instead you decided to repeat April.
You know, one
Next
thing we
Saturday.
I thought we might show is
Saturday is already.
how well the phone does addresses and so on.
Like
I have my car is like almost 12 years old. Bunny knows a good deal that doesn't cost a fortune because of the interest rates. Anyway. You put the address in and I use my phone instead of the car. And does a beautiful job of navigating you where you go. And you just have to say name of restaurant and it'll say Westlake and you say yes, and it says, okay, here you go. Start
I
driving.
can't get the voice to speak until I don't want it to. And then it will not shut up. But they're like, in 100 feet turn left, it's showing you that on
Yeah,
the screen. You're driving.
Mine does pretty, except the other restaurant I went to last week, it said, I can't remember the name of the street, but it said turn right away, turn right onto the street. And it was a parking lot. So I kept driving straight. And that was the street they wanted me to turn on, this parking lot that didn't even have a sign.
You have,
Yeah.
So I went back and turned into the parking lot and it said, okay, yeah, we were right there. I said, well, thank you for your, the first time it's messed me up for a while.
Well, I don't think mine says recalculate anymore.
No, they used to. Yeah, it's that.
No,
It drives you around some residential neighborhood, brings you back. Doesn't tell you why it's doing it. It's just the seniors. Yeah, that's what I always used to say.
Recalculating. Yeah.
But it still says you have arrived, doesn't it? Your
Of
destination is on the right.
course, if you're going to an estate sale, the parking is like that for the
Oh,
next.
they can't judge that. Yeah.
So you haven't really arrived until you walk the distance.
And there is a thing you can press on your Google Maps, I think, and say, this is where I'm parking. Press it, and then when you get back out there, it'll say, it'll find you by
Oh, there it is.
We always have to
latitude,
make,
longitude, I don't know, whatever.
we always have to make a note. Did we turn around or
Yeah.
are we faced the same way we came in?
Absolutely what I look for. I said, now was I going up the row or down the row? And I usually try to park by a collection basket.
I hit my
place.
beep, 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 and then I find it. That's how I find my car. I'm not sure. I just walk until I can hear it.
Yeah, I can see, you see people go.
Hit the lock.
Okay.
Beep, beep, beep,
Okay.
beep.
Sure. Hey, what do we do?
Don't start marking the double.
Did you get his money?
No, he didn't yet.
Oh,
he's still.
I
on
can
the
take it,
phone.
but I don't have, let me see if I have $5.
No, don't worry about
I do pay everybody.
it. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.